Another wonderful day, another fine day, another day for us to get together and have conversations. Another day for us to sit and talk to people who have done things, talk to people who are doing things, talk to people personally. I feel like are going to do things for our community. Will continue to do things for our community. Um, the other episode was wonderful, and so many people like, oh, Sako, know you, you're so soft, ask hard questions and this and that. We want you for life, we want you for life. And I was like, you know what? I think we'll do that, especially because if he says before me, say, hey, any day, anytime, whether it's live or whatever, let's do it. So I don't do wait, I don't do wait, I don't do wait. And then I heard he was going to be around. I was like, okay, might try my luck. And then um by God's grace, he had time. Now, I don't even to say he had time. Me, I personally feel like he created time, and that is one thing I admire about him. That is one thing I respect about him. That is one thing I am like, wow, who be we? We, however, by the way, when I notice, I see Max of my suit, right? Do we present the camera who wears suit? I mean, if you cut now, Prezi, welcome.
Um, Thank you. Thank you for having me. But who be we? You're somebody. You're somebody who you're making things happen in the community. You're walking the talk. I remember when I came here a couple of years ago, Toridey was not as big as it is today. And the Siddhartha says everybody has a story.
Mhm.
So you are somebody and you're making news. I'm honored to be here. It's not a favor that I'm doing you. I think we have a shared interest in ensuring that we do our own contribution
Yeah.
towards a better society, a better community, and to build, in our own small way. So I think it's a win-win. It's a win-win situation. And yeah, as I said, I'm ready for all questions. I would be as honest as possible and sincere as possible. I would try to avoid politically correct answers and whatever people want to ask. I am here today on the hot seat to make sure that I respond to those questions.
I like that promise. By the way, at the time I like that promise as if he was going to say some other things or no. That is one thing so many people respect you for, especially for our community, being honest, even when they put knife or a gun for your head. You always one stand on the side of truth. Boss, I know most where they watch or we go even watch the
Mhm.
live know you already, but for the sake of the few way they'll probably no, just your names, where you from and what you do.
Congo Felix Agbor Balla. I'm a lawyer. I live in Cameroon. I'm the president of the Center for Human Rights and Democracy in Africa.
Mhm,
In another world, my mom used to call me Agbor Show Boy.
mhm.
And I'm an activist. I'm a human rights defender. I'm an Epicurean because I like pleasure. I'm a socialite. I like football, and I just like to be happy.
Oh, I like that part. Everybody wants to be happy, but some people don't decide. Say, you know what? If it's not about them, go around. Cameroon, how do I do?
Um, you see, like very good question. I don't know how would you do. Because that country, if someone tell you say that country not difficult, they might not tell you the right thing. That the only country for world where some junior officer if you get junior man for office, if you
Mm-hmm.
get power past the boss of the office
Office.
because of who we know for
No.
Yaoundé
Yeah.
and the tribe way come out. You understand?
Yeah.
So, but in spite of the fact that it's a very difficult terrain,
Mm-hmm.
I am a positive person by nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to see opportunities where there are only roadblocks, meaning that when the doors are closed, I look at the window, you know, because as I say, necessity is the mother of all invention. And you have to think out of the box if you are living in a very difficult terrain. And it's difficult from all facets. It's political, it's social, it's cultural, it's educational, it's economic. It's difficult. It's a country where the police guy can just stop you when you're driving and the guy had a bad day
Mm-hmm.
and he just decides to detain you for no
No
reason.
reason.
and he might speak in a language that you don't understand.
Yeah.
And if you want to complain, he says he will just arrest you. It's a Friday afternoon,
Mhm.
you're arrested, Monday's a ghost town, and they release you on Tuesday without really any justification.
Mhm.
But it also means that if you're living in that kind of country,
Mhm.
you have to understand your reality also.
Mhm.
Understanding the reality of the country and
Mhm.
your own individual reality.
Mhm.
You understand? So you don't want to have a punch with a Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
If you don't have, if you are not heavyweight, for example,
Yeah.
so everybody has to assess his or her own reality in whatever you are doing.
Yeah.
And I think it puts you in a better position if you assess your reality and you are like, okay, this fight is a fight that is worth it,
Yeah.
and this fight is a fight that is not worth it,
Well,
because it's not every fight that you
you
must
jump
fight.
into that.
And you have to strategize also when you are fighting, to like, I'll fight this. You have to pick and choose your battles.
Saw you the other day. You won an award. Tell me about that award.
Yes, the American Bar Association gave me the award, International Human Rights Defender. So it's an award that 6 organs of the American Bar Associations, they come together
Yeah.
and they make assessment of who they think is the best defender of human rights.
Mhm.
And the argument that was used for me was that I've been consistent in documenting gross human rights violations in Cameroon
Mhm.
and speaking truth to power, but also in advocating for a peaceful means of resolving conflict. So that's what made them feel that, or they decided that this candidate was special
Mhm.
and he had something that he could contribute towards humanity. So it's something that I'm truly honored, because when you look at where I've come from, it's
Yeah.
been a long journey. It's been a journey that has been for at least 30 years. A lot of people just see you today and they don't understand. But this is a journey that I've done these things, all throughout most part of my adult life. I remember in 1998, when I was doing a master's thesis in Belgium. I wrote something about human rights and self determination. But even prior to that, I've been doing this kind of thing. So we always have to give God thanks and praise. But it shows also that no matter where you come from, remember in 2022, I won the prestigious Robert Kennedy Human Rights Awards.
Award.
I mean, growing up as a child, if somebody had told me, somebody who grew up in the ghettos of Great Support, um, went to Baptist primary school, wouldn't live in luxury. If you told me that I would be addressing senators,
Mhm.
I would not have believed. If you told me that I would be sitting by the president of American Bar Association, I would speak and I have a standing ovation, I would not have accepted, I would not have believed. But what I've learned is that if you're consistent,
Mhm.
if you believe in what you're doing,
Yeah.
if you have a passion for what you're doing,
Mm.
without don't bother about the financial gain. If you have a passion, someday, you
Mhm.
know, you might have a recognition, and it might not be a recognition through an award,
Yeah.
but I think my biggest recognition is the people that I have met,
Mhm.
who they've told me that I've touched their lives. Let me digress a little bit. A few days ago, I had a message from a Facebook message in my inbox, and this lady was thanking me, reminding me that in 2016 or
Mhm.
2015, there were some attacks that are taking place in Bamenda.
Mhm.
So at that time, I went to various hospitals in the Bui division area. I went to hospitals and I did some financial support and material support.
Mhm.
And she told me that they operated the brother. The brother had a gunshot
Mhm.
on the leg. They operated him. One leg is longer than the other, but at least the guy survived. And she was thanking me. This is like 7 or 8 years. I could not even remember.
Mhm.
But to me, that's the kind of things that I hold in high esteem. Yesterday, I went to an event, a party. I met one of my students. I used to teach in university, and he came to me like, "Say, I'm happy for what you did to me," and other people. So it's important. I'm saying this because it's not everybody that will have a recognition as an award.
Mhm.
But if you're at peace with yourself that what you are doing in your own small way is trying to make a difference, is you're trying to leave a legacy for posterity,
Mhm.
then that's the award. And every day there are thousands of people in the country who have awards. They might not be awards recognized, given in a in a dinner like the American Bar Association, but they get award, personal satisfaction because of the kind of work that they do.
Crazy. Now, that award, we all like me personally, I
Mhm.
like the fact that they give you the award. But how do you think that award translates to the common man? How do you think that the common man is benefiting from that award?
Okay, the first thing I said, I want a knockout money.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because I know a lot of people that would knock out money. It's an award, but how is it beneficial to the common man? Because probably if it came with money, it
Mm-hmm.
might have been beneficial just to me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's beneficial to the common man because it opens me doors, a lot of doors to do advocacy. I
Okay.
had meetings with the people of the American Bar Association. I started talking to them about what we can do, how we can work together to see how the 2014 anti-terrorism law in Cameroon is amended.
Mm-hmm.
And strangely enough, when the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights came to Cameroon a few days ago,
Mm-hmm.
they sent me an invitation, but I told them that I was not in the country. One of my staff members attended. They talked about working with government to see how that law can be amended. That's a discussion that I already had with people of the rule of law section of the American Bar Association, and I would follow up with that. So it opens doors for other things. It opens doors for me to be able to advocate for those who are in detention, to be able for me to advocate on the fact that they need to find a solution to the crisis. I mean, you get into places that you would not have gotten without the award. You understand that you
Yeah.
can talk to people and they will listen. Because they feel that you earn your position to be where you are, to be able to address them. So yes, to me, it might somebody might think that it's an award for me as a person, but it's an award for advocacy. It's an award for the common person because it puts you in a stronger position. You know the way life is. We people judge people a lot, and who you are. When you say something, they always look at who is the one speaking. So by the time somebody's introducing you as, well, this is somebody who had won the Kennedy Award and has won the American Bar Association. Because to be honest, not be chocolate, forget that kind of award. Let's be honest. So the people look at you differently. To be honest, I tell you, when I spoke at the Senate, when I had the Kennedy Award, I mean, one of the closest person to Biden walked to me and was very complimentary of the way I spoke and what I did. Same with the African Bar Association. I mean, everybody, like, I met a judge that had done some work in Kenya and Sierra Leone, and she's like, "Can we do something similar in Cameroon?" I met somebody who had done some trafficking work in the DRC and was like, "Can we do something in Cameroon?" So it opens the doors, not just for me, but for the people that I'm advocating for.
You just mentioned the word terrorism. What is your definition of terrorism?
Terrorism is generally terrorism would be considered as those who use force or weapon, you understand, for political gains.
Okay.
That's a basic definition of terrorism from a UN perspective, in particular, and from an international law perspective. But the 2014 anti-terrorism law is not limited to that. The 2014 terrorism law, it was, the law had in focus Boko Haram. From what we see, from the letter of the law, but from the spirit of the law, it has everybody who is against who criticize the government, because not the state. We model the government and the state. Everybody who doesn't agree with the way things are being handled. So that's why you would realize that leaders of political parties are being tried under the law, journalists, civil society, Anglophone activists, have been tried under the law. I'm not saying that there are not people who have been arrested that you can say they fall under the terrorism, but most of the people are being tried under a law which is used to silence dissent, a law which violates freedom of assembly and free speech.
Guys, thank you now for watching. Go ahead and if you get any question we want to ask, please. When I know why they call it Prezi, I'll be hopeful. See, he will become president for Cameroon someday. I don't know if you don't change your mind about that, but what I like or no, we'll not force you, we'll force it to feast. The one of that two, what I like and it was take power. Go ahead and if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the comment section. If he say anything for you, we not agree with, or you feel say they misrepresent facts or whatever, put them for comment section
Some people are
because
asking for the link.
okay, yeah. So ma go ahead and I think that's it. I don't even do one now. I'll share the link with. Yeah, I don't share the link with you. Uh, yeah, guys, go ahead and share. And like I said, if you have any questions, even President said don't talk and say any man get any question, he did ready for address today. As- yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I'll get plenty of question them. So if you know it's good for you, you too can want to ask your own question them. By the way, how your weekend did go? Our weekend was crazy. Not only weekend from the weekday, Houston, and then here, and then met my brothers and Paspaco, senior pastor. It was a wonderful come together with Prezi. Prezi is a good actor, eh? Good actor. I see how the camera will script for a front in less than 30 seconds. He just jump in and he did
See. Auntie Feli and senior
senior
pastor.
pastor.
Now they took me for that walk. But you see, these young men are extremely creative
Mhm.
because we were having, was it lunch and just
Yeah.
having a discussion,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, Auntie senior pastor was like, Prezi, we need to just do a skit on this Njangi thing. I'd asked
Yeah.
him about the Njangi,
Yeah.
and look at where he came from. That's how ingenious and creative and thinking out of the box
Yep.
was like. You are somebody who has been fighting for peace, not
Peace.
so.
Yeah.
So you will try to resolve this. So that's the angle that, because I was hesitant, that's the angle that they nailed me on. Like, but you're
Yeah.
fighting for peace,
Yeah.
and say, and we have a problem. You
Yeah.
have to come and solve it. So it was very creative, and I saw at first hand, the way Auntie Feli bought in senior
If you say
it
serious.
like a real thing. I was scared, real thing. And then when I give that money, the way senior pastor take and run, that it was like 100 meters,
Yeah.
and I was surprised. But the whole thing is that if Auntie Feli had taken the money, the story would have come to an end.
And
So they are very creative, and I'm happy also that in my own small way, and this is something, I've had a few people who gone in my inbox, were very happy, and so we're like, no, you don't pass level for that. I'm like, no, whatever you can do to support your own, whatever you can do to make sure young people grow,
yeah.
in a positive way, you have to. We need to eschew this big man syndrome. Say some man don't pass person for go that event. I pass who? Pass what?
Yeah.
You understand? I mean, everybody can help everybody, and we were created equal in the eyes of God.
Yeah.
So if you feel help them. So, but I don't tell the nurses on time, I'll be their apprentice. When they go, they give me small gig they had to do, and then they wash me too. I mean, it's a win-win situation. So I feel at least I feel buy chop for my house.
You know when I watched the video later, I not even look at him again from that angle. I be did it how they shoot time. For me, I look at like this is actually the struggle you're going through. Conflicts a day, even when you try for solve this conflict, senior pastor go drag the money for your hand.
Yeah.
Wrong with them.
Yes.
And then Maui no will continue look at like, what has Agbor Balla done?
Yeah. That's it. That's the thing.
Now,
That's
so
the
me
thing.
actually look at
no,
it.
but you're right. You're right. You see, and it's conflict. It's very difficult to resolve a conflict. I tell people that you don't fight for 7 years and you have a magic wand. There's no crystal ball, or no man no get be obasin you get for I will go talk say I could do this one thing, it resolve the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked in Afghanistan. You understand? I mean, we still have a conflict there. The DRC we've had I used to work in the DRC in the UN.
Yeah.
We used to have the biggest UN mission in military in the DRC. The problem has never stopped till today.
Wow.
You understand? So it still goes on. How do you find a solution? How do you reduce? I mean, from time immemorial, the war in the Gaza, for example, the Gaza Strip, West Bank, Baker Valley. I used to grow up as a young boy, a lover of history and politics. There was always the Baker Valley, the West Bank, the Abu Nida and the Abu Abbas, the Arafat and the Co. You understand?
Yeah.
We've had the Shimon Peres, the Camp David Accord, and things like that. Bill Clinton tried, Jimmy Carter tried. We are still nothing has really happened. But what I see is that encourage those who are making an they might not get to the promised land, but at least like Johnny Walker would say, they keep walking and they are walking towards an end. It might not be in my lifetime, in whatever conflict that we have, but when you throw stones on people who are making an effort, and when you become an armchair critic, and criticism is good. I like it because none of us are infallible, and none of us have a monopoly of knowledge, a mastery of everything. But you can do it in a constructive. I have people who write things that I don't agree on, other things. I call them on the phone and I say, Master boy, this person who you attack is, so these things do not really make sense. You would have done it like this. You don't even make an effort for praise, for wait to eat do before, because some people then they will make and they lose self-confidence. Some people then they make it affect their mental health. You understand? See, like that guy will be dressed for Kamif. Way people
jump on.
You don't even know how strong the person is. You understand? So everybody, and there's a micro and a macro solution that people who would operate at the higher level and others would be the lower or mid-level players. Everybody has a role to play in whatever we're doing. Don't try to destroy somebody if you cannot be positive, constructive. And Toridey, let me tell you, and this is not about politics, but also it's just in the way we treat our influencers or our entertainers, those in the entertainment industry, the kind of things that we have to encourage them. Especially the Anglophone industry. It's a nascent industry that needs to grow. And how do we encourage it to grow if we always talk down on the people? You discourage them, encourage them. You can still, in encouraging them, you would tell them where you think they've made some error, but you cannot just like everything that the person has done is wrong and you don't see anything good in it, and you just lambast or you bash the person. What do you expect? The person loses confidence, and that becomes the end of the story.
Very true. And the funny thing is, you actually want to go complain where 15,000 people don't watch that video. None of them complain. Ask yourself, wait, to all the 15,000 people, then why they not complain? Why not only me one are they complain?
Some people then too, they just try to be relevant and and just relevant. And there are people also who have their issues. They're not happy with themselves and they don't want to see anybody happy. And that's why I advise some people on social media, be careful with the kind of people you follow, whether they are role models or people criticize. Somebody has not had food to eat, he's bitter, and he wants to spoil your day. You understand? You have to. There are people, I mean, we grew up, we have friends who are always bitter, who are never happy with themselves even. How do you think they can be happy with you? But they should not be the ones to determine how you react. And I tell, like, this is an advice to young people who are in public space, who are being criticized or who are being personally attacked. You know me, you can insult me from now to next week. I don't have time to reply because I am focused. I'm goal driven. I'm thinking about the next thing. But what I tell young people is that nobody was taught on how to be in the public space. But the only thing I'll tell you is that you cannot stop somebody from insulting you. But the way it affects you, that's what you are in control. So I'm not in control in what you say to me. I cannot bother about what you say to me. I'm in control to the extent that it affects me. If you say something and I don't leave my house, then that's when I cry all night. That's where I have a problem. You understand? So to me, I'm like, whatever you say, I would respect your opinion to say it. But when I sit and cry, then that's when I have a problem, because the whole thing is in your mind. It's a mental thing. How do you play with? How strong are you mentally? So for me, no matter what you say, no matter what you write, if I have to do something that I believe is right, I will keep on doing it, because I make sure that negativity doesn't affect me. I'm a very positive, and I like to surround myself with positive people, positive mindset, As I sit here, I already have meetings that are planned when I get to Cameroon that I'm supposed to do. I already have workshops. I already have back to school that I'm supposed to support people who are doing it, the ones that I'm supposed to do as an organization. So I don't really have time for negativity. If you're a negative person, and my friends know, if you start talking down or trying to bring down people, I just pick up my phone, I behave as if I'm making a call, and I leave.
Prezi, you mentioned the word Anglophone. In 2024, do you think we should still continue to have that conversation, Anglophone, Francophone?
It's a conversation that would be there. You understand? It depends on how you take the conversation. The way Cameroon is structured, the Anglophones and Francophones. The way Cameroon is structured, there are tribes, there are regions. Okay, that's why they will tell you that there's a Francophone president. There is a speaker of National Assembly is from the north.
Prime Minister.
Senate is from the west, and then there's an Anglophone prime minister. That's how, we have been lumped into one. You understand? I mean, historically, you can call it West Cameroon, you can call it Southern Cameroons, you can call it Anglophones. You understand? I mean, I whatever. I don't look at the way you call it. I just what is the meaning behind? Yes. So yes, there's the Anglophone identity in Cameroon, and I think that the average Anglophone, it's true that before they say they're Cameroonian, they think like Anglophones. You understand? And but it doesn't mean that the fact that I am Anglophone, I don't like Francophones, or we don't like Francophones. I don't think there is really any, from a personal level, I don't think we have issues with Francophones. It might be at the state level, the government level, not about Anglophones and Francophones. That's why we there are intermarriages, not so. Everyone is living everywhere. I mean, people have friends. I mean, imagine I went to Sase, okay? I mean, I have my friends who are Bamileke Anglophones, or Ewondos, Betis, or Bassas. I mean, we still are in our class meetings. Nobody cares. Nobody looks at the other differently. We are all classmates. We are all friends. We are all brothers. We belong to the same sober fraternity, and I think others also, they don't bother whether you're Anglophone or Francophones. But we understand that there's an Anglophone and there's a Francophone in Cameroon.
But I want to go back for that award palaver. You are you be one human rights advocate, and don't win very good award. And I'm glad you don't explain for we say that award then they only empower you to do more for your community. That's the reason why we should celebrate. We should be very, very happy about them. Now, the other thing I want to ask you is because you don't actually tell me also what terrorism means. And so many people in the community don't suffer in the hands of so many people, especially those abroad. They don't give orders, may this happen. We don't see online people. Now, they will claim they talk about pidgin, they will claim they use coded words like Gary them and this and that. They will get advocates like you, where if you go for UN or any of these organizations, them tell them, say, okay, this is actually what this guy is saying. This guy is actually responsible for this. You understand? I think say at this point in time, this is about 7 to 8 years, we'll be careful to start see international community issue arrest, or maybe arrest, or even try judge some people them when it will happen, because we are like at the end of the day.
The debate has shifted also. Why do I say the debate has shifted? Around between 2016, 2017, 2019, to be honest, the struggle, those had a high moral ground. Because at that time, one person was the perpetrator of the state, and the others were the victims. But when also the perpetrator, or those who were supposed to prosecute a war of liberation, became our perpetrators, they lost the moral high ground. When they started chopping hands and limbs, kidnapping people for ransom, cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment, they will bury people alive, they will behead people alive. They lost that moral high ground in the eyes of the international community. And get it from here, I've spoken to a lot of people in it. They lost it. They lost it because the egregious crimes, human rights violations that they commit, the crime against humanity that they commit is appalling. You understand? And the world is not sleeping. Advocacy grinds slowly. I can tell you from authoritative sources that there are some of them living out of the US who cannot fly into the US. They are on a no fly ban or a fly ban. They
Mm.
cannot get into the US. There are some in the US who are being prosecuted, who are being investigated.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And there are others who I've seen that people are mounting pressure for the linchpin who lives in Norway,
Mm-hmm.
for him to be indicted or charges brought against him
Mm-hmm.
for crimes against humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of them, their attitude is bestial, their
Yep.
attitude is inhuman and inhumane.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not pretend because they are one of us. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? I stand on the fact that any violation committed by anybody should be held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Because don't forget, when somebody gives order that somebody is beheaded, an Anglophone is beheaded in Bamenda and Boya,
Mm-hmm.
that Anglophone who is beheaded has family also.
Of course.
Not because you are supporting a so-called failed revolution,
Mm-hmm.
because they have derailed it. It's more of personal gain. Not because you are supporting it means that you should be blinded to the fact that they just killed one of your brothers. You understand? And you cannot come to liberate me and you end up becoming the violator.
Yeah.
You understand? You cannot be the one who is claiming that you are there to fight for me
Yeah.
at the same time. Wole Soyinka wrote a book, The Swamp Dwellers, and I have a very good line where when things are not work, and Soyinka said, "They told the Kadiye, is it of any use changing one slaw for another?" You understand? That's basically what is happening. You understand? Is it of any use changing the military for the boys who have arms?
Mm-hmm.
They are worst. They are worst. Can you imagine that they don't even respect the dead? They've seized corpses from people. People pay monies to go and bury their brothers and sisters. It's true that the state owes a duty to protect the civilian population, their lives and their property. The state has its role. And I will tell you that because also of our balanced reporting, people can criticize what they say, but I'll tell you, we run a very professional organization. You understand? And our reporting has met the test of time. That's why the US State Department, the UN, Amnesty International would always cite our report. That's why we can get some of these awards, because they have vetted our reports. And don't forget, in another life also, I used to work in the UN as a human rights officer.
Yeah.
So it's not somebody who goes live on Facebook will tell me professionally what is monitoring and reporting it. The problem with us is that if I monitor and I report what suits you, I become an extraterrestrial person in your eyes. The next day, when I report what you have done, which is condemnable, you insult me and insult my family. But as I always say, it doesn't change anything. There's a time when accountability for gross violations, each and everybody who has contributed would be held accountable. Be you a member of the government or a member of the non-state armed groups. And I think that everybody who respects humanity should clamor for an account for the accountability and an end to impunity. It might be, I used to work at the International Criminal Tribunal for Sierra Leone. The special court was created to try those who committed atrocities during the civil war in Sierra Leone. And there were people in government, people in the military, and people and the rebels that were tried. So all the parties that were involved in this conflict were tried. And I expect that someday will happen in Cameroon. There would be no peace for the wicked. Get me? There will be no peace. It might not be today, but someday these people who have committed this mayhem will be held accountable.
I really wish that they could come really, really quick. No one don't die before I see the people they suffer. I want be. President, what do you think the population, the local man, is supposed to be doing to not only help the crisis situation, but for help people like you also get the right information for do your work so well?
At times, also provide data, provide information without being biased. You understand? Yeah. If something happens, make sure you get the facts, and then also educate your community. We don't do a lot of training for trainers in communities. We have focal points in all the 13 divisions. In the language of the separatists, the 13 counties. We have representatives that we have trained in all, where we encourage them also to train more people on reporting and monitoring. We have an app that is on Android that we have developed. Our human rights team and our communication team has developed, where you can report violations through that app.
Anonymously?
Yes, yeah, anonymously. But we will get your info,
Mm-hmm.
but the public will not see it, and then we can now reach out to you.
Mm-hmm.
And from a professional perspective, your identity would never.
Yeah.
I mean, if you read Amnesty or Human Rights Watch report, they don't necessarily put the name of the person
Person.
who gave the information,
Yeah.
and because the whole policy is a policy of do no harm.
Yeah.
So you can describe somebody without actually mentioning the name,
Yeah.
because you owe that person a duty of protection. But also, what people can do to help, not just me but other human rights defenders, civil society organizations who are fighting for the protection and promotion of human rights and social justice,
Mhm.
is equally also at times just send them a word of thanks, just some nice words, just some prayer line to read, just pray for them,
Mhm.
because what they are going through is very daunting and it's very challenging. They need your support, no matter the kind words. I mean, and I'm not saying support financially. Some might need financial, but your prayers,
Mhm.
your kind words. When you get up in the morning and you go on your page, or in your WhatsApp, they've said somebody send you a message appreciating what you. It is like it gives you more energy
Yeah.
to do the work, because this is a very thankless job that people are doing.
Yeah.
You understand? And it drains you. It drains you. It drains you a lot. So just that little encouragement from friends, from families, and from fans and admirers, it goes a long way to help you.
Prezi 2024 elections. What is your take?
We're in 2024.
No, 2025
Yes,
elections.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
There are no elections in 2024, because it's 2025. So
Mhm.
we would have the presidential elections in October 2025,
Mhm.
and the municipal and legislative have been postponed to
2026.
2026. Regional elections also were supposed to take place in 2025, so I think it would go to 2026, because I just assume. What is my take on it is that Cameroonians have woken up from their slumber.
Mhm.
We used to be very lethargic kind of people, but I see they're more vibrant, more forward looking, um, more resilient,
Mhm.
and trying to make things happen. You see the way civil society, political parties, religious leaders, and everyone is galvanizing for people to register.
Mhm.
So there's euphoria, there's hope, the momentum is there for people to register,
Mhm.
because that's the first stage,
Mhm.
register and then vote. There are lots of things that can happen between now and 2025. First of
Mhm.
all, yeah, but if I look at it from a point of view, and I don't have a crystal ball, from an analytic point of view, we see the opposition still trying to get a candidate or candidates, because
Mhm.
they will not have a candidate. I've had meetings with some of them.
Mhm.
They have their own personal fights. They will have candidates, but the ruling party, there's I think they have what they call their natural candidate, who is Mr. Bia. I don't know whether he would still be there. He will be, but I think that he will be their candidate if everything being equal. Because most of the people in the party, I don't want to use them cowards, but
Mhm.
they behave like they're in North Korea. There's a supreme leader
Mhm.
who gives orders, and they sheepishly follow their supreme leader. So I think that he would be their candidate. But what concerns me a lot is the negativity that everybody's like, nothing can change, nothing can change.
Mhm.
Change is the only thing that is constant. And at times, dictators are weakest when they think they're strongest.
Mhm.
I mean, we've seen things. I mean, Ceausescu in Romania, with the Berlin Wall fell. There are things which have happened. We have seen despotic leaders in the continent that are falling without a lot happening. So there's a possibility that if we work together,
Mhm.
we build across the board, politicians and civil society, there might be a mass rally of people,
Yeah.
that might lead to the necessary changes. But I don't want, in as much as I'm very optimistic, I'm like, even if it doesn't happen now,
Mhm.
the critical mass and the mobilization, would lead to something else in the nearest future. So if you don't vote, you cannot go to the street. Because what is your interest to go to the street when you did not vote?
Mhm.
So to me, if you look at the elections that the president normally wins, less than 3.5 million people voting. So, what are the others doing? Why will I be writing on social media when I don't have a voter's card? Get the voter's card first. Because you are saying that nothing will change. What if something happens? Something, a divine intervention.
Intervention.
The Greeks will call it Deus ex machina. God comes in the form of a machine and does something. But you will still not be able to vote. Look at what happened to Biden and Kamala. For example, if it was in a country where voter registration had closed, and then you want to vote for Kamala, you will not vote because you are not registered. So register. That's the first thing. And then prepare to vote. You understand? And if you vote, you see, we've passed the time when they will kill 1 million people in the streets. The world has gone beyond that. If you vote and you think that the elections were rigged, then the leadership can send people out. But if you don't vote, what are you going to do in the street? So to me, I first of all encourage people to vote. Go out, to register first, and then get ready when the time comes to vote.
Also, Joshua, I think the person for SDF actually said something during the Fika food back and forth with the ministry. They asked him about Samuel Eto'o and what is happening with the ministry, Fika food and what is happening with the ministry. He said he who pays the piper
dictates the
tune. And we were like, okay, we'll wait for 2025. No complaints, say the man will pay the piper, the one dictate tune. Do you think, my question would be now, do you think we can actually trust the system, especially the voting system? Might be specific.
Well, you see, there was a time when the Germans did what they call real politik. So you have to be realistic also. And everybody complains that Elekam nothing would change. But I think there's a definition of insanity that is said doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. How do we think out of the box? What have we been doing that has not been working? How do we find a way to make the things work? You understand? Because so if every time we have been telling people to go and register and vote, okay, and they are not doing it, how do we use, for example, social media? How do we use entertainers to do skits or influencers to encourage people? How do we organize musical fairs? For example, we organize a musical event in Boya. Bring in the artists that young people like, but the only condition is that you have a voter's card to get in, for example. These are innovative ways. And then look at the last election was in 2018. Okay, then there's an election in 2025. So 18 to 25 is like 7 years. So between 7 years and the voters' age is 20. So those who were 13 in 18, those were 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 7 different ages are eligible to vote. That is a lot. What do they like? Are you going to use TikTok or Instagram to get them? Are you going to the kind of artists you will not bring? For example, I'm a Fela fan, or probably a Harry Nkongho fan, or a Bona fan, probably to convince them. You look at the Salatiels, for example. You look at the Renews, for example. You look at the Kosis, for example. That they are relatable to them. You look at the skit makers, the Auntie Felix, the senior pastors, and the co. You understand that they could do for them to do skits to that extent, which would help. Okay, so that is an angle, because now you would have a lot of people register, and then the opposition also. How do they build, like the Union for Change that was built around Frundi in the 1992 elections? How do you build beyond political parties? Because the thing in Cameroon is that everybody thinks you have to be a politician. A politician is the way, the true, and the life. You understand that? But how do you build with civil society? And then if you are building, there are things that you have to look at. There is what I would call likability. There is what I would call electability, or winnability and governability. There are people that we like. Can they be elected? And if they're elected, can they govern? You ask yourself. So you put those criteria when you are trying to get a candidate or candidates, like, okay, let's look at the way the country is.
Yeah.
Perhaps those in power, they might want to give up power,
Mm-hmm.
but they are finding a way out.
Yeah.
You understand? Do you need a revolution or an evolution? Okay. You
Mm-hmm.
might say for yourself, for the time being, we need a revolution, but for the time being, we need an evolution
Mm.
because we don't want to alienate those who have the money and the military might. I'll give you an example. South Africa. What happened in South Africa? ANC realized that they had the numbers, but they could not defeat one of the strongest military forces in the world, the apartheid regime.
Yeah.
The apartheid government realized that they had the strength, but the way the world was going, it was time for them to change.
Yeah.
So they had to find a win-win situation where they did power sharing. You understand? And nobody nobody lost face. We have to transpose that, you understand, within our context. Why is difficult? Because a lot of people are very emotional. You understand? We want to take over. We don't want to do anything with the BR regime. It's not possible for a regime that has been in power for 42 years unless you are prepared to have a revolution. And how many of them are prepared to have a revolution? How many of them are prepared for an uprising? And don't forget, an uprising comes with a lot of consequences also.
That's true.
People being killed, there's looting, and it might grind the whole system. So you need to look at your own country, understand your reality. Who is that leader who can mobilize 5 million people in Cameroon? It's a bit difficult. And then look at a solution that reflects. So you don't copy and paste because it happened in X country. It doesn't mean it must happen in Cameroon.
Yeah.
So you need to contextualize it so that it's workable within the confines of your country.
Thank everyone who is watching, and I'll start read comments very soon. If you get any questions, if you get any concerns, go ahead and let us know. Comment section. President here today, we don't do now for the 6 minutes. We'll probably do like 10 hours because they had to get here. I don't get in now, so I want to ask you all my questions. President,
yeah.
The last time you were here, I asked you about what you think about the next president, and you said you said for you prefer or you think an anglophone president. It's time for an anglophone president. You still stand on that?
Yes, I 100% think, and I religiously believe that it's time for an anglophone to be president.
Ma ask the question, President, because he na anglophone or because you know some few anglophones them who you think say they be competent.
It's a combination of many things. A state is made up of different groups of people, sociological composition. Cameroon has 10 regions, more than 250 tribes. Okay, and also you have to also try to be realistic the way when in looking at the state, and it's a way of also winning the minds and hearts of the people of the Southwest and Northwest who feel that they've been alienated from the central government, mainstream central government, who feel that there's a need for rotational presidency, whether you call it zoning or rotational presidency between the Francophones and the Anglophones. And because these are historically two peoples who came together to form what we call Cameroon today. So you could share power. I know some people will say it's democracy, you allow the best candidate to win, but nothing stops the political parties to put in Anglophone candidates when is the time for an Anglophone president, and which I think is the next one. And you see, I'm not just saying that because somebody's an Anglophone, he should be president. No, they are competent, qualified persons who can lead the country. You understand? I mean, there are many. Okay, there are many people who can lead the country, and also it would go a long way also to make the Anglophones feel, that they truly belong, and it gives hope. It gives hope to other Anglophones and to other people that this is truly Africa in miniature. This is truly a country where we don't only speak about the unity, the strength of the two people coming together, but we actually see how it works in real life. But the issue that I'm trying to look at it is also, are the Anglophones ready? Because that's the thing, Are we as a people ready to have an Anglophone president? the way we drag our leaders
Mm-hmm.
on social media, the way we destroy any potential person.
Mm-hmm.
It might make the francophones a bit weary,
Mm-hmm.
even if they want to encourage. I met a lot of francophones who think that an anglophone will make a better president.
Yes.
I'm talking about leaders of political parties, leaders of civil societies, and other opinion leaders who are francophone. The thing that, but they ask me the question, you anglophones, who are the people you are proposing? Because we know that you yourself will try to destroy them. That's not enough reason. And what I'm expecting is that frontline anglophone political leaders and civil society and others opinion leaders, they have to sit down and make an assessment of their relationship with the state or with the yeah, and start asking themselves question: what happens in the next regime? What is going to be our common position? The Northerners are already talking about that the presidency has to go back to the North.
Hmm.
They are already building their alliance. But you can say, if you're not building an alliance, if you're not working as we speak, I've tried to get a few anglophone leaders, talk to them, come together. As we speak, I don't know anyone that is working again towards them coming together. But others are working.
Mm-hmm.
The people in the Western region are working, the Northerners are working. And if you are not preparing yourself, you don't blame anybody.
Body.
So it's incumbent on us also. It's easy to say it's a time for an anglophone president.
Mm-hmm.
Are we working towards ensuring that we have that person who has a capacity to lead, who can reconcile the country?
Mm-hmm.
Are we working to make sure that a lot of people are registered? Are we working to make sure the fact that the francophones can be convinced that the way we mobilize,
Yes.
we think that, are we working to build unity so that they see that, okay, if we have an anglophone president, it could help to unite the country. You cannot be uniting the country when you cannot unite your own people. So there's a lot of work that has to be done. I'm currently also working with a group of anglophone youths, like 20 of them, to see how they, we I can for them to know how or learn how to work in synergy, to
Mm-hmm.
build across their tribal and regional divide, and for them to see themselves as one, that they have a common interest, and that what brings them together is stronger than what divides them. I mean,
Yeah.
that when I mean them, us, you
Yeah.
understand? So it's a Herculean task, but it's not impossible. You need people who can help, who can strategize. And this is not something that you sit to and be ranting on social media. It's more burning the midnight candles, working and coming up with a blueprint and talking to people and see how you can build a strong team that if you are negotiating with other francophone opposition leaders or civil society, you can explain to them why candidate ABC, who are anglophones, are better for the interest of the country for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? It might
Yeah.
not be in the long run, but for the time being, we think that it would be nice if an anglophone is president.
President, you run for president?
Um,
You be remember, so you be say you know give any politically correct answer. You answer the
yes,
question direct.
yes. I'll answer. Man is a political animal. That's the first thing, meaning that you are open for opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
2025, am I running? No. Am I running for 2025? No. Why? Because I don't think I'm ready. And also you have to be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It entails a lot. It entails a lot. It entails a lot of finances to raise that I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a discussion with your family, with your kids, with your friends, that you want to run, and you have to build a team. 2025 is 1 year plus. So for the time being, where I'm sitting today,
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you that I'm not running.
Mm-hmm.
But in life, things change. I think a week before the debates with Trump and Biden, Kamala did not believe that she'll be running for president.
Mm-hmm.
So things happen. You don't shut down all the doors. You don't close all the opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
But I am honest to tell you that seated here today, I will not run because it entails a lot.
Thank everyone with the watch. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead and I the struggle for read question. I don't know why my phone won't pull all the comments in. Um. Okay, mercy. African Dimension. Thank you for watching. Elango. Thank you for watching. Teo Chris. Thank you for watching. I don't know why my phone won't pull me all the comments in. Yeah. God help us. Please, can you by any chance decide to run for the presidency of Cameroon? It already answered that one for now. He said no. God, it's crazy. People who we feel say they be competent and no one do them. Prezi, why so many? Because I've spoken to a few
Mhm.
people. Where even me
Mhm.
on just looking at them or knowing them, I feel like they can be good candidates. Why they need to only just deny say they want to run, but they sound like they're actually scared.
Okay, no, for me, if you know me, you know I'm not scared.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not scared of anybody. Okay, I'm not wanting to run. It's not because I'm scared. A lot of people have written to me. I've met a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people
Mm-hmm.
who think that I should run. But that's what I said. I mean, get me. I said for the time being,
Yeah.
okay, for the time being, I
Mm-hmm.
am not running. It doesn't mean I might not, depending on what happens.
Mm-hmm.
There are lots of dynamics in play. If you are a student of politics, there are lots of things that you look and you take into consideration.
Yeah.
You understand? Things might change.
Mm-hmm.
It might change tomorrow. It might change
Yes.
next week.
Yeah.
And there's an enabling environment that you are not only running, but you're striving to win because it's not running for the sake of running.
Mm-hmm.
But you can look at the situation now and you say, okay, well, this particular person is better suited to run in this period.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because also, and the thing about some of the fans, the people that support us that we appreciate, it should not always be about you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the states, the cause that you fight, like what Mandela said, is bigger than you, it's bigger than your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you might fight till from now till like kingdom come, and you don't see the changes in your lifetime. But you don't give up because you will not see it. You leave your footprints on the sands of time.
Mm-hmm.
Others would pick it up. If you look at the lessons from history,
Yeah.
I take the Anglophone crisis for example. If you did not have the Albert Mukongs, the Enonchongs, the Chief Takus, the people of the Munzus, the Ngwanes,
Mm-hmm.
the people of the AAC1, you understand? You would not have had the Azongwaras of the
Mm-hmm.
Teacher Association of Cameroon, the Arimbis. If you had not had the Ebinis and all, you would not have had the Agbobalas, the Tassangs, and the Fontems.
Mm-hmm.
And if you did not have the Agbobala, Tassang, and Fontems, you would not have had the other people, the Ayuk and others who are there. So it's also in phases. You understand? Not because I cannot get there, it means that I should not do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You play your part. It's like a relay. You just watch
Yeah.
the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's a relay. You give the baton.
Yeah.
You understand? For the others that would, you understand?
Yeah.
So to me, I don't want people to feel discouraged that why is he's not scared of running.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that for the time being, you understand? Because I've done find a calculation on running for a seat to a parliament or mayor of Boyan Limbe. I've done a small calculation for some young political leaders that I was advising. It's not easy. It also entails
Mm-hmm.
finances. How do you prepare your fundraising? What are you doing to fundraise and things like that? How do you get your communication team in place? How do you build synergy across the nation, across the board? I mean, some of those things I've been doing them. I've been doing them over time. But when you say you must run, it means that even if you are in a meeting with others, you cannot concede to the fact that there's a better candidate than
Mm-hmm.
so you have to also accept that, okay, even if we go in a meeting and I'm not the one who is choosing,
Choosing
I must
most
work my sleeves up for this person to
to
win.
win.
But when I've met leaders who it's either them or nobody
Nobody
else, it
else.
doesn't help because we are in the same situation where we criticize Mr. Bia, but we end up because we fight each other.
Mm-hmm.
He wins and he becomes president, and we can criticize him on social media. But the question I'm asking, what are we doing? What are we doing differently to ensure that we defeat him in an election? If we are doing the same thing over and over, you want to have a meeting, you've announced a meeting on a Monday at 4 p.m., and you are the leader, you are in your house, you know that they will block the house. You have to leave your house like Friday. You have to think out of the box. You have to beat them in their own game.
Mm-hmm.
But you do the same thing, and you hear the leader, they block the house on Monday morning. I'm like, no, you're not serious. when we used to call meetings when we want to protest, I'll leave my house a couple of days. So even you have police people sleeping around my house, you will not see me. Because what do you expect? That they
Mhm.
should come and give you sandwich in the
Yeah.
morning? They'll just bring 5 military people and their car and park it in front of your door, and they tell you that you cannot leave. So we need to outsmart them.
Mhm.
We need to think differently and try to bring the necessary changes that we wish for the country.
I actually feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, beyond him, that even the reason why we see be president, the people around him are actually the reason why he's still president.
I think that's what people always say, but he's the one who is the president. You see it when he's leaving the country, how people panics. Not so. He's the one, and he's the one that the Cameroonian people elected to be head of state. So I don't want people to shift blame and
Blame.
responsibilities to
Mhm.
others, and that's something that we're good at doing. You don't blame the person who is responsible. You start looking at soft targets. You understand? Easy targets to
Mhm.
it's like a bully in a Cartier.
Mhm.
He knows that if he cannot attack your somebody who is stronger than him, like people who beat their wives. They look at somebody who is weak. They will not fight their friends. They
Mhm.
look at soft target. Their friends will insult them in a bar, they will not slap them, but they will come and slap their wives or some sister at home because it's a soft target. I mean, face the person who you think who is the one who is responsible for the problem, and Mr. Bia is the one, is the head of state. I don't want to be looking at other people. He's the main character.
Mhm.
Okay, I mean, for an actor for film,
Yeah.
no because look Chef Bandi and the
Mm.
other people, actor na actor.
Junior Gombe situation, when you heard he was, I think he was arrested. You in Cameroon when he was
I
arrested?
wasn't in Cameroon when he was arrested, but when I heard, we investigated and we issued a statement as an organization,
Mm-hmm.
for him to be released. Then with Redact also Maximilian Gombe, we also had a team meeting. They created a pool of lawyers in which I was one of the members, and I'd also discussed his case with the American Bar Association even before he was released.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after he was released, I still told them that we should monitor because it might have affected him, his mental health, and others. We should keep on monitoring the situation to see what's actually going on with him. But you see, also this is kind of state terrorism on individuals. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
state terrorism in where they come as open and close on individuals because they're just trying to stifle free speech or young people who want to encourage people to register. And don't forget, this government used to encourage people to register
Mm-hmm.
when people never had interest.
Yeah.
Now that people are having interest, they're having good stories. But you see also, I like to always think about one of the most visionary Cameroonians that I knew, Batebi Song. Their champagne party would end. In his I think this is requiem for the last Kaiser. He said their champagne party will end in the most cruel death of the talkative zombie. Yeah, I think it was in Beast of No Nation or the most cruel death of the talkative zombie. You see, no dictatorship would last forever.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nobody that would take the Cameroonian people hostage like the BR regime has done.
Mm-hmm.
The gullibility rate is at its apogee, but people are realizing it. The sardinization and Bretonization of the young people, a lot of them are like saying no to it. They prefer jobs, they prefer good health, they prefer water, they prefer electricity, good sanitation, and not about just giving people bread and sardines. So things will change, and I think also social media could be a good tool to rally people for positive change, for development. Um, for elections where our leaders, our politicians will talk about policies.
Mm-hmm.
They will not just talk about persons,
Mm-hmm.
ideas. I jokingly told somebody the other day that I would run for presidential election if there's a public debate where all the candidates stand and then they ask them questions. We will know those who are fit and
Yeah.
proper to govern and those who cannot govern. But I was just joking here. Where you look at the things that concerns. For example,
Mm-hmm.
if I was running, one of the big things would be dual nationality, dual citizenship.
I was.
At
Yeah.
this age in time where we have a huge diaspora that's doing a lot. I mean, we have read reports of the contribution of African diaspora to the economy
Mm-hmm.
more than the oil that we have. I would equally focus on corruption. And because I think it's the bane and tribalism. I think
Mm-hmm.
if you focus on corruption and tribalism, no, yeah, true that they will talk about good governance. Good governance is a broad thing, but there are certain things that if you fight corruption, tribalism, and in particular, it will go a long way to win the minds and hearts of the people. I mean, I'm not talking with that one also how to engage leaders
Mm-hmm.
of the Anglophone conflict and engage them honestly and sincerely and have an open discussion with them. So we need leadership that can address issues and not play the ostrich. We don't need leaders who have yes men, psychophants. Goebbels used to be the minister of under Hitler, and who was like a propaganda minister. Or for those of people who did philosophy, they'll talk about sophistry, called white black, and Goebbels said truth, lies repeatedly spoken will one day be believable. We don't need those kind of ministers who bully people, who terrorize the population. It's like they have a hammer, everything they have is everything they see is a nail. We
Mm-hmm.
need leaders who are people centric, who are people oriented, who have the love for the country and not the lust for money and position and trying to bully the population.
Michel Ndoki, I don't know. He was strict out of the party. MRC, I think.
Yeah.
OC Joshua.
Mhm.
He said he that pays the piper determines the tune. The other guy Cabral B
Mhm.
will know say on party tune na fight fight
Mhm.
fight. Do you what is that happen? Do you think we should even trust the opposition?
Yeah, we should trust. The opposition is a reflection of who Cameroonians are. That's why we cannot. If we keep on condemning everybody, then at the end of the day, we allow Mr. Biya to lord over us. Okay. Me, she's a friend, very good friend. I know her. Yes, she had her problems with the MRC or CRM, but she's a fighter. She's
Mm-hmm.
still the Michelle that all of us knew. Yes, she was thrown under the bus, people attacked her, but she's still strong. I mean, a couple of months ago, I had a meeting with her with some few political leaders. I can tell you that she's still the Michelle Doki
Mm-hmm.
that she might not be doing a lot of social media, but she's coming back. She just came back to the country,
Mm-hmm.
and rest assured that you would see more of Michelle. Cabral is dynamic. He too is a fighter, very articulate, who has a grasp of the subject matter. They will have their shortcomings, like me, like everybody. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but how do we build? How do we build understanding the imperfections of each and every one? How do we build understanding the imperfection that you complement my weakness and I complement yours? Remember, you pray for me and I pray for you. Why don't you pray for me? I think there's a song we used to sing when we are in Sunday school. Joshua heads the biggest Anglophone opposition party, the SDF.
Mm-hmm.
He too has his shortcomings.
Yeah.
I don't know the context that is said about he who pays the piper dictates the tune. It doesn't necessarily have to work in that sense, but if everyone has to come together and we work on the common goals, the things that unite us, that we have a common interest with in Cameroon,
Yeah.
and then after that we can separate because of the other things that we don't agree.
Mm-hmm.
If we focus on that, I always like to build on people's strength because, Mr. Toridey,
Mm-hmm.
everybody, if they put the lenses on you, the camera on you, they would find fault.
False. That's
And
true.
if every day we spend time only on each and everyone's fault, we're not going to move forward. You understand? So
Yeah.
we take the strength and we build. We look at people, we complement each other, and then we
Mhm.
move forward.
Wow. But try to see what I feel with that question now. I don't know why. Okay, shout out to Besingi, proof of man. I don't know why this my stuff they just mess me up. Guys, when I read my try to see how I feel do for read that questions. And go ahead, by the way, for those who are watching, go ahead and share. Go ahead and share. Go ahead and share. Let's see. Yeah, I need to read questions. Greeting, barrister. Is the country willing to reconcile with the Anglophones in and out of the country, and what friendly policies have you seen that attract the playing field? Before you answer that question, Prezi, I beg, what is the role? What is the role of diaspora to helping Cameroon get better, and not only more even say help better, especially with 2025 elections?
Well, you see,
Yeah.
the diaspora has a big role to play also,
Mm-hmm.
because we have a lot of positive things coming from the diaspora. You understand? I mean, I have family, friends, I have brothers, sisters. I know a lot of people, are very wonderful people from the diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot pigeonhole the diaspora to one corner and say they are very wonderful people. They are doing amazing work in Cameroon. And I always tell my friends in the diaspora that don't give up on Cameroon. We need you back. We need you. We cannot build that country without you.
Yeah.
Because you also are sons and daughters of the country. Don't abandon. Don't run away because of some bad governance. Okay.
Yeah.
I can understand how frustrating it is, but I just tell them that be resilient, be resilient. What can the diaspora do, for example? Almost everybody in the diaspora has somebody back home that they send money. And this is where I come to he who pays the piper dictates the tune in a positive way. If every time somebody wants you to send him money, somebody who is 20, or like, I'm going to send you money, but the next time that I'm sending you money, you send me your voter's ID card. You show to me that you have registered.
Yeah.
You know how many people you guys send money
Yeah.
to through mobile money and through other means of. Can you imagine how many people you would have? Or you say, you know what? When you register, you have a voter's card, I would triple your transportation. So a cousin calls you, school fees, say, okay, fine, how much? 50,000. I'm sending you 60,000. The extra 10 is to register. And I'll only send you money when you send me voter. Because we cannot be complaining about bad governance. You people are here, they don't accept dual nationality, they make life difficult for you to do business back home, and you are not finding a way to encourage the people there to vote. So that is something that they can do. You can constitute a strong lobby and decide that, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
We are going to support change in Cameroon.
Yeah.
We are going to support change in Cameroon, okay? But what we are going to do, what we are going to do is that we are not going to give leader X money. Because what happens? Leader X comes and collects from a group of people who support him.
Yeah.
Leader Y comes, leader A. All of us will sit and like, we have X million dollars to give. Opposition. If you don't have one candidate, we are not giving you our money. Because to us, you are just deceiving us. Because you know that you will not win when 10 of you run against the president. So why are you? It's 419 because you are obtaining by false pretense, or they call in Nigeria OBT, obtaining by tricks, because you know you will not win. So if you guys come together, I'm like, we have done fundraising. When you guys have a candidate, we would give you. I can assure you that the opposition will sit up.
Yeah.
But if I know that I can come, my friends raise my own money and give me, Toridey comes, and what is the need? Why? You understand? So one, encourage your people to register by you telling them that whatever you're doing, if I'm supporting you, I need a voter's card. Why? Because that voter's card and the voting has an impact on your life here also.
Yeah.
For example, if imagine that they have parliamentarians, majority in parliament, they can help get a bill through to ask for dual nationality. Or if you don't give them dual nationality, you do something like those who are born of Cameroonian parents don't need a visa to get to Cameroon. They can have it at the port. So something that somebody who is called Nasako Ewane, that name that only comes from Cameroon and goes to the embassy and they refuse him a visa. You understand? Wants to come and bury the parents. How will you invest in a place where you are not sure to have a visa? That's why you see other African countries are opening up to be visa free, because they want people to come and what the diaspora can also do, especially those. I had a meeting with the US ambassador, a very friendly meeting, nice gentleman. We had a very, very fruitful meeting, and I told him, open your embassy to Cameroonians to come there. You are here to serve them, and he said that's what he does.
Yeah.
You are here to serve them.
Yeah.
So that a lot of things could be discussed. You understand? You guys create your caucus and meet him, and like, we think that this has to be done. You understand? Table it to him in a very responsible way and see how it can be forwarded to government. So those are the kind of things that the diaspora can do. The question that the guy was like, yes, I had part of the discussions also I had with the ambassador also tied in lines with some of these things. I think also government is willing to do something, but also diaspora has to put pressure on its own leaders also who are intransigent, because they're spoilers. They're spoilers living abroad who enjoy this mayhem, because some of them are making money and they are relevant. Because when they call them presidents or whatever of whatever, they feel important.
Yeah.
Important is just a title that has nothing. You understand? They have various factions. They feel a sense of entitlement. But if it comes to an end, then they are relevant because they don't do anything out of being called president. They don't do any positive on the ground. And these are not people who can win any election in a real year. So, I mean, it's also good for those in the diaspora to reign on these, their so-called various leaders and presidents, like, you know what, tone down your rhetoric. Let us try to find a holistic solution, because, I mean, the government cannot negotiate alone. And they also have to give in something. You understand? For example, where schools are starting in September, I expect the diasporans to tell their leaders that, you know what, call for an end to the school boycott. Show some good faith, show some leadership skills, show some maturity, shift the burden on government. That, okay, you see, we have called for school boycott. I mean, for school boycott, and we are calling for a ceasefire. I mean, there are times when Hamas and Israel used to have a ceasefire. Not so. This is what we have done to see good faith on the part of government. But you cannot only want the other party to do X, Y, Z when you are not making any concession. It doesn't make sense. When the separatists kidnap people, they either pay ransom or they kill them. You want the government to release your own products who are detained there, the ones that you arrest or you kidnap. You don't even have the power. You don't put yourself in a position where you can do prisoner swap. You don't put yourself in that position now. It's okay, we have X, Y, Z. You would have to release all your own people that you kidnap them, you ask money from them, or you kill them. Your bargaining power is weak. What are you bringing on the table? You know, we have seen how international politics plays. Israel and Hamas. Hamas has something. The American government is telling Israel to the families of those who were kidnapped. They're putting pressure on the government. We don't have anything. So they have to also re-strategize a more people-centric way of conducting the struggle, if I can still call it like that. The diaspora has a role to play. You can also stop giving them money. You can stop financing them. Like, you know what, we want you to find a solution. So I think if the diaspora does what they're supposed to do, and civil society, we are putting pressure on government also, and we can show government that, see, as a result of our diaspora, kids are going to school freely. I mean, and Cameroonians abroad can also issue a statement encouraging kids to go back to school, because the same people here, all their kids are going to school.
Of course.
You understand? So these are the kind of things I don't have. I mean, as I said, nobody has a monopoly of knowledge. We share ideas, we contribute ideas, and then others also, some of them might have better ideas than myself. But if we put them together, as they talk for pigeons, say, plenty handy tie cocky. Not so. Yes. So if all of us will put our heads together, we'll come up with something better. And it ends up being a win-win situation. I'm not one who is fuzzy about someone wins, someone lost. It's not bravado. It's not a tug of war. People are dying. People are suffering. You know, in an attempt to prove that you are a strong man, people are dying. You understand? You can do things better. You can win legitimacy in the eyes of your people by putting them first. And any leadership that doesn't put the people first is doomed to fail.
Crazy. Me personally, I feel like Biano will run for 2025, or even if he run for 2025, he will probably hand over to some other person right after that. I don't know if that is possible. But my question is, do you think around him there's anyone for a milieu who if he make a good president?
There are lots of people who can make a good president.
around him.
Yeah, you see, don't get carried. You see, perestroika and glasnost, restructuring and openness that was done by Gorbachev. Gorbachev used to be around the president. It was the same people. De Klerk used to be a believer in apartheid, came and changed. Um, there are people are different. There are some people who are just scared of what is happening around them. They cannot
Yeah.
say certain things because they
Yeah.
can end up in Konegi. And I am not one who thinks that there are angels on one side and demons on the other side. That like everybody in the government is a demon
Demon.
and the other people are angels. No,
Mhm.
I mean, when you talk to them, there are angels and demons in the opposition and civil societies, angels and demons in the government. We have to give benefit of that. That there are many scenarios that you can look at it, you understand. But I followed one of Bia's interview when he said that in a democracy you don't prepare a successor. You understand? And so constitutionally speaking, Nyat will take over. I don't want to get into the merits of it, but constitutionally speaking, so there's a plan. You understand? There's a plan that Nyat will take over. So
How
yes,
old is Nyat?
just like almost close to Paul Biya, whether it's 89 or 90. I don't know how old it is. Yes, he might not run.
Yeah.
He might. I mean, because nobody knows. That's why in politics, 1 year is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking about we are in August. You know, we have 2 months to October of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And from October of this year to when there's another election, it's 12 more months. We have 14 months. I mean, in the life of a person, 14 months is a long time.
If
Okay.
diaspora come together and they say we will finance your candidate, you know, change your mind.
Then I'll think about it. Because then you have the means to be able to go around the 10 regions and
Mhm.
campaign. But equally also I can tell them that, you know what, yes, there can be a better candidate than myself. You understand? I mean, I'm just saying that I can still tell them that, you know what, for now, I think there's a better candidate than myself. Somebody that I might say I might not be able to lace his shoes. That's what it said in the Bible. I might be the campaign manager for that candidate. I have a lot of candidates, that people that I'm talking, walking to them, building, trying to see how we can work together. You know, 3D, nothing should be just about you.
Mhm.
Imagine that everybody in Senegal was only about Sonko. And God has a way of making it that it might not just be you.
Mhm.
You might just be the John the Baptist.
Mhm.
You know, I don't want to get into that because it gets into people's head.
Mhm.
They obsess about me, I'm the one, everybody likes me. No. You understand? I always tell things that if I'm somewhere fine, if I'm not there, the world will not come to an end. After all, life would continue if you're not here today. We have to be honest. I think it's a collegial kind of thing.
Mhm.
You sit with a team and they do a profile, they tick boxes,
Mhm.
and they zero it on like you are the one. Then they might say you're the one. And what I do as a team player, I give you my best.
So many people they challenge you. So many people feel like you're not the best person because now we know all this political achievement,
Mhm.
we know all your work when it comes to advocate, human rights
Mhm.
advocate. But then your personal life, your married life, and they feel like Master, man, they might enjoy Kai.
Oh yeah, now them all now you the one ask this question.
Not
Not
them.
them. Well, you see, there has to be, and I've had this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I am a public figure. I
Mm-hmm.
agree. I was not born a public figure.
Mm-hmm.
I have a life. I have a private life. And I think what's important is what makes you happy. I'm an Epicurean. I like the good things. I like pleasure. My mom gave me the name Agbor boy. But I'll tell you, those who know me, how disciplined I am,
Mm-hmm.
I always say my lifestyle would never affect my work. So if I am out late and I have a meeting, I would attend the meeting. I'm that disciplined in a way that I don't mix business and pleasure.
Pleasure.
If it's pleasure, it's pleasure. If it's work, it's work. Yeah, I understand
Would
that.
give you. I
We
can assure
live
you
in a
that the
society
opposition.
where um people wonder you must get married because
Mhm.
I'm sure that's what you wanted to say. You're just trying to. I am not, and it might just be that it's not everybody who's cut off to get married in this world.
Mhm.
It might just be, and I say it might just be.
Mhm.
I grew up with my dad and my mom at home, and I think if you ask my siblings, they'll tell you that I'm the most caring person in the family.
Mhm.
But if life gives you orange, you make orange juice with. If it gives you banana, you make banana juice. When you start having oranges and trying to make banana juice, that's where you have a problem. But I want to focus on the things. Mother Teresa didn't get married, not so. I don't want to. I want to focus on the things that would impact people's lives. I want us to focus on the discussions that the kind of legacy you leave for posterity,
Mhm.
how many children you can send to school, how you can find a long lasting peaceful solution,
Mhm.
how many young men and women you can uplift. You know, if I tell you the number of young men and women that has passed through my hand, my organization, that are working in places that are financially more comfortable than me today, they would not look at me from that. They will look at me from the impact that I've created in their
Yeah.
lives. And I want us to move beyond some stereotypes,
Mhm.
and judge people from, can he lead? Otherwise you start getting to the Trumpist kind of
Mhm.
thing he's saying about Kamala. Kamala doesn't have a child or blah blah blah. You understand?
Mhm.
Yeah. So the focus should be on policies, on what you can do, what you can offer, and this is it's not a crime to like to. I think God created the good things of life for people to like. It's not a crime because they make people start feeling apologetic. You
Mhm.
start feeling guilty that you probably want to drink Moet
Mhm.
or 60 million drinks Ace. I cannot afford Ace.
Mhm.
So I cut my coat according to my cloth.
Sure.
I drink my Moet Shandong or whatever. You understand? People work hard also to be able to live a good life.
Mhm.
People should not make others feel bad or apologize for living a good life, especially when it doesn't affect others, especially when you are doing it within your means
Mhm.
and you are not depending on other people. I don't think it's a problem.
But is it, whose responsibility do you think it is for like for cities like Kumba, Boya, who get mails them and all of that? But then you see, Agbor Gibe posted pictures the other day, I think, of Limbe, and you see
No,
dirty.
one, they are visionless people, and I always
Who them
the
the
mayors. Okay,
mayors?
one, when they were running for election, and it's a cycle where you rig elections or
Mhm.
where you have the people who are not competent. When they were running, they did not give us any plan of action.
Mhm.
So you are judging them on what? They did not tell you that they will clean the city
Mhm.
because they were investiture by their party. They just got them there. You understand?
Mhm.
Have you ever asked them what is your manifesto? What is your blueprint for this town for the next 5 years? Where do you see the town in the next 10 years? That is where I say CPDM has destroyed our people.
Mhm.
You understand? They are very wicked political party because they bring leaders who are deaf, dumb, and mute, and who don't have any vision, who don't have any interest of the people to lord them on top of the people. You see, cities that used to be vibrant and clean,
Mhm.
but because you gave a political nitwit, a political midget to run the town, there's nothing. What are they interested? That might be the way they pay that market money them, and then people they pack their motor, they can't take them,
Take
they give building permit way. Some man if front door there, some my toilet, they don't even care, they don't send people there, and then they go to places and they call them Lord Mayor. You are not any Lord because there's nothing honorable in you being the mayor or the parliamentarian. And it's not only about mayor, it's about parliamentarians who people who never speak out against anything that is happening to their people. People who don't raise their voices. They just, I don't want to say I don't know how to describe them, but I don't want to use the word that they're political zombies. Fela said zombie known a one way. When you tell you say may go kill, you go kill, you say may go die. So they are like they're like robots,
Mhm.
but they've reduced themselves to robots in a way that they cannot think. I mean, this is a country where people will sit in parliament and they wait for 2 weeks, nothing is happening in the Senate because they have to bring the nyat to come and for them to vote. I'd ask myself, don't you have young people in your party that you can vote to be speakers? But you know The only challenge is for people to rise up in terms of registering and voting.
Okay.
It is difficult to rig an election when you beat the incumbent with 20%. When you beat them, 4-5%, they can rig. So that's why I said do things differently.
Mhm.
If you know that you defeat them with 2%, they will change the thing. Make sure your people come out and you defeat them with 30%. They will not be able to rig it. Even if you cut and paste, it goes still show.
You dey continue to insist on register, and vote register. It seems like you really get confidence about the Elekam. I think that's what they
Yeah,
call it.
I believe in a constitutional transition of power.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm not one who believes in coup d'etats and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because we have seen in the continent that they are not the messiahs that when they come, there's a period of honeymoon.
Yeah.
You understand? They will end up soldier come, soldier go, barracks
Boom.
still remain. They will end up doing the same thing. I mean, it's true that somebody will give me exceptions, but you know what? I'm talking about the rule. I'm not here
Mm-hmm.
talking about it. Life is about the rule, not about the exception. You understand? The fact that somebody can run to the mountain in 2 hours doesn't mean the average person can run to the mountain in 2 hours. Not so.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So let's look at So to me, that's and I don't like bloodbath. I don't like bloodshed. I'm a very peaceful somebody. I'm a very peace loving somebody. If you know me very well, you know that I am somebody. I mean, in quarrels with friends, family. I don't get myself involved.
Mm-hmm.
So I still believe. I still give hope for democracy. I still believe that the Lincolnian government of the people, for the people, by the people, that a process that would be free and fair, with the support of Friends of Cameroon also, and also the willingness of Cameroonians. You understand? Because Toridey, what we're saying, don't mind. We have 25,000 polling stations in Cameroon. Most of those polling stations don't have representatives from the other parties. If we decide today that in 2025,
Mm-hmm.
in that 25,000 polling station, we would have representatives for all political parties, everybody, it will be difficult to rig the elections. There is the social media talk,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a reality on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
If all of us decide to walk the talk, all of us decide that, okay, I'm going to fund election observers in 10 polling stations. You do 10, we do 10. We have enough money for 25,000 polling stations. And that is why when you guys in the diaspora decide that you're going to give money to one person, that person can have observers
Mm-hmm.
in all the 25,000. As we speak, none of the opposition can have observers in 25,000 polling station. Because just imagine, say, for each polling station, you give the person whether not 10 or how much money is that? You understand?
Mhm.
Campaign and all the things. So it's an expensive venture. So you guys need to help. And I believe in the process, but we will not sit and have the necessary change. When you talk to other countries that have had changes, that have brought changes, you see how they work. We are not doing more of online talk, but we are not actually doing real work.
Wow. I think this is actually. I like the way it's going. Uh, woo. When I know what it will convince you will be president, whether I like it or not. Ego, whether I like it or not. Thank everyone who is watching. You argue against the last result. What makes you think it will be better this time? That is a good question, Boss Bisingi. Make will ask you that question. When we see the right candidate like you, we will fund. Yeah, diaspora. We need to do something. Shout out to my boss Agbor Gibet. Thank you Agbor Gibet for watching. By the way, one of the things that we struggle for doing, I encourage people to go vote. And I don't hear Prezi, you don't talk am again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Go out there and vote. Go out there first of all and register. When you don't first of all register, then we'll start talk about voting. After I don't start talk about voting, then we'll talk whether the rig election or the non rig election. But the first thing we need to do now for go out there and register. We for diaspora, it is a bad thing we are actually acting like concern we. It concern we whether I like or not. If you're not concerned with directly, you concerned with because our families and different or because our placenta be buried there. So there's a lot we can do, even as much as the struggle for do everything for stop we or for slow we. There's a lot we can actually do. If a group of people they become together with 2016, they hijack what was supposed to be teachers and lawyers strike, and then turn into which we did today, and then turn into that thing, and then they will be able to raise 1 million, $2 million. It means that we for diaspora, we actually get together also and raise funds where if he yeah where if he actually help a candidate. I like the way President put that. He say a candidate. I think that the one place that we the government don't succeed in so many areas. They make sure say every time some T1 come up, they break una, they divide una, demand, they fight, demand, and then they just chill. They do whatever they do. We can actually do better, especially diaspora. We need for start find we if we choose one candidate, or if we encourage the people to choose one candidate, encourage the political parties, and even the people back home also. Man, if diaspora or the majority say, you know what, this is who we think can be best for us, I think say we all join for align behind that person and they may run. By the way, me, I know they ever thought say Biya must go. No. Me, I want some person will be competent. I know people will be competent. But I know I know be one of that person say, oh no, what I want to like, or maybe I just fake come out. We don't see situation where you come out even worse pass. But I know very well so get people will be very, very competent, whether inside government or even yeah. Praising.
Yes, sir.
Samuel Etofi now one of that people that we think say they feel actually be good candidate.
You know, I'm a fan of the Big Nine. I'm an Eto fan. I'm a footballer, somebody who had a third division team at the age of 23. I used to be president of an intercati at about 20. So I like football. I've been in football. I like it too. As a football, as a player, people might disagree with his managerial styles. I think also as it goes along, this is first his baptism of fire. He would improve. I hope that he listens and he gets people that can advise him. As I said, there are many people that can run a country. You understand? Fortunately, you don't learn how to run a country in a school. We have seen all kinds of persons leading countries. So he has the potential of leading a country like many other people. I don't want us to be fixated on an individual like this. You understand? Because if you're focused on him, if he's not there today, what happens? You do a pool. I always say do a mapping. Do a mapping of potential leaders in the opposition, civil society, and the government, and then start looking at their strengths and see how you can build a coalition with some of them. Because somebody might be really strong, but not strong to be the head of state. It might still be somebody who would think that the way he does his negotiation, it could be speaker in a parliament, because you have to negotiate your way to have a bill in a proper democratic system, not this monolithic multipartism that we have where the bills come from the presidency and they are adopted and the president signs it into law. So yes, he has the potential like many other persons, who we think lots of persons in the civil society, lots of political leaders, lots of people in government, lots of people in academia. We've seen countries where their presidents have come out from the universities. Some have been political parties, some have been civil. Look at what happened in Bangladesh. The guy was a guy about microfinance. He wasn't in politics, not so, but they brought him to rule. So you have it's just being ready when the time comes. You understand, and build a team also that can help you manage and run the government.
Any topic day where you think you'll be able to discuss today, I never bring that up.
Well, I think there's something that we have to, not about politics, but also how do we encourage and support young people who are doing businesses. I met a couple of young people who in Yaoundé, in Boya, and Bamenda who are doing fine. Met some young ladies who are doing catering that they are taking things to the next level. You understand? They're not just doing the normal ones that we used to see when we're growing up. And these are people who we have to encourage, but equally also, I used to teach in a university before I was fired. there's this our education and our certificate is a problem.
Yeah.
Why? Because a lot of people focus on the certificate and not the education. But the real world, I recruit young people, I work with young people. It's more about the education now, not the certificate. The certificate doesn't do much.
That's true.
How educated you are. So how do we encourage internships, voluntary services for them to get the experience? How do we try to provide them some seed capital? How do we create something that if people have good projects, for example, support like the Silicon Mountain, to
Mm-hmm.
give seed capital? Because the problem we have is that everybody wants to work in government. Everybody wants to be employed, but you have to learn how to be a job creator. You
Yeah.
understand? You have to create the jobs, and we, the older ones, have to encourage the younger ones. We have to guide them. We have to mold them. And I think also orientation in our schools is a problem. People go to universities, they don't really know why they are there. They read courses that they don't know why they are reading it, and then when they come the job market, it's a bit I think the entrepreneurial mindset, we don't have it a lot. So that's something that has to be developed. And those of you in the public space, influencers also, they have to encourage young men and women. It's not easy. I'm not saying not easy, but at times, if you have some small money or you can get some, you can start something, and it doesn't need to be very big, because the little drops, would fill the ocean. So that's something that I'm very passionate about, empowering young people. That's why in the organization that I run, the Center for Human Rights and Democracy, is principally manned by young people who build capacity, give them the opportunity. I consider it to be a nursery for them, give them the opportunity to learn and then to go out there and explore and excel. Because if you are a father and you're the only one who succeeds and the people around you don't succeed, then you have a problem.
Yeah.
So to me, that's the legacy I want to leave for posterity, to remember that we empowered lots of young men and women to do things and to do things better than you. You should not only think that they should not get to where, because most people don't want people they
To
brought
get
to
to that
get.
level, yeah.
Yeah, to me, I think that I want you to rise above me. I should be a proud father to say, oh, what? I mean, I have some of my students that I taught, and then they worked with me, and they are today doing well in the UN. I'm always proud to say they are my students.
Wow.
I'm proud to introduce them to in places. And I've told them that I created a group um, in 2015, 16, when I was teaching them. I called them future leaders, and I'm not disappointed me. So where I might have failed, if I might not succeed to get to the presidency, but those my boys, those my future leaders would get there. And if they get there, I'll be proud. Wherever I am, I'll be happy that at least my students that I mentored, I guided and I coach, they got to the top of the mountain.
The Anglophone community, anything there for the Anglophone community, you don't ever should you look at, you be like, why my people there so?
Yes, we destroy ourselves a lot. We don't support each other. We destroy our leaders. Our leaders need support. They need love. They need encouragement. I'll tell you, Toridey, it's not easy being a leader in a community where people are very critical, highly educated, and everybody has an opinion. I'm not saying that we want to be worshipped.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be deified. It's not North Korea with the supreme leader, but they need support, and it's not me and the others. It's not just about me. They need support because it's if you look critically, a lot of the leaders have chickened out.
That's
They've
true.
left.
Yeah.
Why? Because some of them cannot stand the insults and the
Yeah.
attacks. They attack them, they attack their family, they attack their wives, they attack a lot of them. How do you have a community where you destroy all their potential leaders? Who ends up leading you? You end up having leaders who are not fit to lead you
Yeah.
because the others they shy away. They don't want to. People don't like, there are people who are very private. They want to lead you because they can serve. But when you start insulting their personal lives,
Yeah.
they cannot. When you start telling them that you're not married, you don't have kids, you're doing this, they bribed you, they've done these things which are false. You understand? Some of them will just like, because they sit with their friends
Yeah.
who don't have the problems that they have, and they are living their lives. So they start
Mhm.
asking themselves question.
Better
But the
make me to.
problem, not be me, I get the country. This problem not be my own. So me too I go live my life. So that's how we lose. I've had people who have gone to my inbox who have written to me, please, Prezi, we need you back. We need you. I said, I did not go anywhere. I just focus my energy on something that is more positive that I can control.
Mhm.
You understand? But, and I say it's not about me, it's about many other people. Are you even trying to talk to them? I have spoken to some people and like, please, we need to build a team so that our voices, the Enam or the EMIA came out, very few Anglophones. There is no group of person who can now talk.
Yeah.
Most people don't want to get involved because if you talk, either the non-state arms groups, they start criticizing you, you are talking as who, they'll send people to kill you, the people in government are also looking. So what these leaders need is just a pat on the back where when I try, we not say when I go big mistake, but we pray for now. You know, those are the kind of things that people just need to hear. And you would not imagine what those words would do to them to fight for you, to advocate for you. Because one, they are not doing it because nobody is paying them. You understand? Nobody is paying them. You see, at times you do something and somebody says you are supposed to do it like that, you're supposed to do it like that. But the person doesn't understand how even you manage to get there to go and do such. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
If you leave boy and go to Yaoundé to do an interview on the TV, nobody pays you.
Yeah.
You need to go by road. You put your life in harm's way. You stay in a hotel, and at least somebody can say, "Well, I interview fine, but something in the way I think so
Yeah.
for it's good." But you just say, "Who it even talk like who?
Like
Who
who?
give it?" You understand? If for talk so, if for talk so, if for talk so.
Prezi, thank you very, very much for today. I don't know when next we'll do another interview. But I hope see.
You follow me, Cambo. I can do another interview.
Eh.
You come. I don't give you any. I feel voucher any other anytime you come for Boya.
Yeah.
I give you interview live. I will not any question you want ask. Ask me. So I rendezvous go there for
Is it
Boya.
a not side wrong Cameroon?
No, I don't know me. I don't know. You come. Now
I
more
really
than fun.
like that topic
Yes.
for dual nationality.
Yes.
I don't know what can be done. I don't know with what and who go talk to our
Let the
parliamentarians.
people in the diaspora also constitute their lobby.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, lobby. I mean, I know people have been writing, work with the ambassador, get to the embassy. Everybody here has a parliamentarian from somewhere, not so?
Mm-hmm.
They talk to their parliamentarians. We want you guys to prioritize this thing. There are people who have contacts at the presidency and the private. Talk to them. Make it a priority. Get mainstream media in this country talk about. Pay for advertising spaces in media in Cameroon. Okay? For them in newspapers, in radios, and in televisions.
Yeah.
Get bloggers and influencers, pay them. Work on a budget. And like every week, you know, we have a paid advertisement on dual nationality citizenship. Come up with short messages on the benefits of it, the benefit of the role the diaspora play. Skid makers, you know, Anglophones and Francophones. Fingom Tralala, Auntie Feli, senior pastors, Paco, all the other one, them, Caro and the rest, get them on board. You know, you get the artists, the coaches, the Blanche Baileys, the Mike Monstra, Stanley Eno, all the others, them, Manibela, them, Manox, them. Let them get. That's the problem. I said we do the same thing, but we expect a different result. How do we think out of the box? You can also get a strategist. You can get a consultant, your think tank. You know, you can pay a consultant that works from behind, like, how can we do to lobby? And it mustn't be someone based in Washington, D.C., or you can have one in Washington and one in Cameroon, or one in Paris, in the places that you think they have an influence over the state, but have one in Cameroon and let them work towards it. It is doable. It is winnable, it's gettable. But you have to walk the talk. You have to think. You don't just have to do the usual thing and expect an unusual result. When you do the usual thing, you'll get the usual results. When you do the unusual, you'll get something unexpected.
Please allow me to look the camera and I want me to talk to your people.
Yeah. So I talk for them.
Talk for your people, our community.
Yes. Pidgin or English.
English.
Well, to our community, first of all, I want to thank our community also for the support that some of them have given to me and to us in particular for what we do. We need you. We cannot do it without you. We hope and pray that you continue to encourage us in spite of our shortcomings and failures as human beings, because we are not infallible. We're urging you, we're pleading with you to continue supporting us, to continue pray for us, because it's not easy. But as a community, also, we have to learn that we cannot destroy our own. We have to protect our own. We have to support our own. We have to build our own. We have to criticize them in a very constructive way. We have to encourage them, whatever they are doing. And as a community, we need to know that the time is now for us as a people to take the mantle of leadership in the country. We cannot do that with only our mouths. We need to support. We need to encourage people to register. Those who have the means, finance our brothers and sisters, pay their transports, educate them on the importance of registration, for them to register and for them to vote. Engage your parliamentarians for them to work. Cleanliness is a problem in our cities. Engage your mayors. Let them understand. Some of them visit you people abroad and they stay in your houses. Tell them that it's unacceptable that the cities can be as this dirty. Talk to your parliamentarians. There's a need for dual nationality. There's a need for dual citizenship. They should work towards that. You have to engage those who are corrupt for them to understand that it is against the people to siphon money men for the common good. And above all, you should show love to one another. You should support your people. You should show love to them. And in spite of all our differences, we are one people. The tension at times, the hate between the Southwest and Northwest is not called for. It helps the oppressor. When we fight, the oppressor laughs and he benefits. We have to rise above whatever disunites us, to work on the things that brings us together, because what brings us together is stronger than what separates us. I want to thank you for all what you've done for us. Continue to do good. Continue to make sure that you support us and continue to pray for us. Thank you.
My last question I'll ask you, Prezi. Do you think we're better off as Anglophone, Francophones, or Grassfield, Sour, these people who are on there? I think it's fun.
No, I think we're better off in the state of Cameroon, where we have our autonomy, where we can elect our governors and have some degree of self-governance on certain things, while the national government controls other things. I think it would be a good balance, where also wealth is shared between those regions that have and those regions that don't have. Okay, because some regions might have natural resources, some regions might have human resources, which is also very important, but you cannot, just because you have natural resources and you think it can be for you alone. I just think that more regional autonomy, they don't want to call it federation, but that governors are elected, and that there are free and fair elections for them to have their mayors and their parliamentarians and the regional assemblies. A lot can happen.
And also, people want to ask you again, say, if it was going to be a federation, 10 or 2 states.
You see, okay, I'm a very practical person. I'm an exponent of a 2-state federation, and this is me. I am an exponent. No, I'm an exponent of a 2-state federation because I look at the historical aspect of the country. But from a realistic perspective, I think it might not be workable the way things have been. So I would give a pathway. I would go for a 10 states for like 20 years. Okay, it's 10 states for 20 or 30 years. And if it's not workable, then we can go for a 2 states. And whether it's 20 or 30 years, if it's not workable, we can have a referendum, whether we go our separate ways. This is trying to put all competing interests together to have a kind of an acceptable situation. I've met Southwesterners who have told me clearly that, Balla, we like what you're doing, but we don't support a 2-state. And I respect their opinion. The thing with me is that The fact that you don't agree with me doesn't mean you are wrong.
Yeah.
And that is something also our leadership, the Anglophone community, especially the separatists, should accept. The fact that I disagree with you doesn't make me an enemy.
Yeah.
The fact that I don't agree with your end goal doesn't make me to be like a Tanganji in your eyes, because we are very intolerant and very intransigent. So we throw people under the bus, we insult people because they don't agree. In a democracy, you understand?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody will tell me that we have a war. I'm like, no, you know what? You have to accept divergent opinions.
Yeah.
Let 100 flowers bloom and let diverse school of thought contend, So to me, it's like I am a two-stater, but I respect the 10-stater. And if that's what the majority of the people want, I would go for it. I would go for it. It could still be a pathway to a two-state. And we might not get to a two-state. After all, if people are okay and comfortable with the 10-state, it's not Balla's position that matters. It's what is important for the common good.
10 state do I president talk say 10 state and then we'll go for 2
No,
state.
I respect it, because I respect it. What if everything that you want in a 10-state, you can get it better in a 2-state, for example? Or what if everything that you want in a 2-state, you can get it better in a 10-state? You understand?
Yeah.
You have to be open enough and be tolerant enough to say to yourself or to understand that my position is not necessarily the best. You understand? This is what I think. But if you give me a 10-state, I will not say no. Okay? I will not say no.
President, thank you very much.
Thank you.
10 states.
I hear you.
Thank you very much. And you're a blessing. You're a blessing to Toridey, to our community. Sometimes I sit and I don't know me how you do. I see sometimes some person go, you make a post, a very simple post, just sharing your opinion, or just so person will come for day, come. I'm like, how you even tolerate? How you even just you quiet? And it seems like even the people around you, where they really know you, they don't already know. Say no need for answer that people.
Yes, it took a while. It took a while for me. Like my siblings, they finally understand. So Sunday, some person I hear my small side talk say, when I say that man worry for that, it need the affect, because I don't know how, I don't fight back, and that's how I go through life. And I think I'm being blessed by God, because I don't fight back.
Yeah,
you understand? I've had personal insults, I've had things, but I don't fight. I've had people who have asked for me to be killed, but I have done affidavit for them afterwards when they were seeking their asylum. I don't want to call names. I have people who have gone on air that I'll be killed. And when they went for their asylum, somebody wrote to me. The person, I'm like, I said, why are you getting out to me? But I still did it, because you have to rise above it. I've had people who have gone on air that I should be Gary, and the next day there is an incident in Cameroon, and they're calling for me to corroborate it. You understand? I don't have hate in me. I don't. Because I think that if you have hate in you, you are not a free person. And that's why no matter what anybody says about me, if I see you, I greet you and I smile. How are you? And if I can help, I would help. You understand? That's my style. Am I right? I don't know. But that's what makes me happy. That's what takes me to bed. So if you see, there's one guy, Martin Amber, he's always attacking me. I've not blocked him. I'm not. Every time he say, fine boy, you don't go to, I don't block him. He offends me and I don't block him. I'm just like, well, yeah, do whatever you're doing. But I would like, if I meet with you, let's have a conversation. Because you might be looking at it from a point of view that you are right. But listen to me. Understand my own reality. I some of the things I said when the crisis started, some of the people who were insulting me today, a lot of them have realized that what I was saying was okay. That you don't just fight a war because people are emotional. People are saying that they will get to Boya, and you believe. People were telling you how they had passports, they had currencies that were using. People who had gone to school, and when you tell them that it doesn't work like that, and everybody's like, you are a red leg, you are a black leg, you're thinking, where are we today? We are where, if they had listened, would have done better. But that's how life is. There are people who are very unhappy about their lives, about themselves, and they want to make everybody unhappy. When they see that you are happy, they are not happy. And I would say it, I would make mistakes, just like you and anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, when I make mistakes, I understand and I tell my friend that this thing I did wasn't right. Everybody will do it. But don't destroy somebody without looking at the positive things the person did. Don't look at somebody who put his life on the line for you. There was no GoFundMe when we started the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
We left the struggle. We went to jail before GoFundMe started. They were not raising millions to give anybody because we were passionate in what we believed in. So even if we make errors and you want to crucify us, give us some 1% of like you guys tried. But you cannot water the effort. Fortunately, history is very stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to water the effort, history will never water the effort. And I think that's why people, some of us will still get the recognition by others. And there are people who watch and like, we need people like you. You're more level-headed, you're more balanced, you're more objective. I'm not somebody who would I think that's why I'm not joining a political party, because I'm not a praise singer. I don't worship, I don't clap, just for the sake of clapping it. I tell you, that's why I can tell the non-state arms groups when they kill people, and I can tell the states when they do that. Very few people in Cameroon, living in Cameroon,
Yeah.
have condemned the state and the non-state armed groups at the same time. We
Very
do,
true. Very true.
but well, that's life. We are glad to be here.
My last question. Keremuna was so quick, so fast to help Junior Gombe, but Mancho BBC and some others, they don't be there now for close
No,
to
no, no,
six.
no. To read it, check your facts right. Akere, when I was arrested,
Mm-hmm.
Akere was one of the first persons to come there.
Mm-hmm.
Akere's and Niben,
Mm-hmm.
they provided us food for like 3 months in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Akere was part of my defense team with Mancho, BBC, and Fontem,
Mm-hmm.
and the current prosecutor of the ICC, Karin
Mhm.
Khan, who happened to be my colleague when we were working in Sierra Leone.
Mm-hmm.
Akere has been defending a lot of others.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime Akere took a backward seat because some of the separatist leaders started personalizing their defense. They wanted particular people because they felt that those people were speaking hard on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And I told some of them that this is a case. This is not about social media.
Mm-hmm.
This is not about somebody talking on television. Okay? But Akere took a backward seat. But Akere has always been someone who has been there for people who are being detained, supporting them in prison, and not only Anglophones, but they equally Francophones also. Yeah, so I mean, this is somebody I know. This is somebody I've worked with. This is somebody I benefited also from his legal services and his economic support while we're in jail. So I can talk with all certainty
Mm-hmm.
that he has always been doing some of these things.
My question I want actually ask her now, why Mancho BBC and some of the others they see the jail?
Some of these cases have a political undertone also. You cannot know. I think only the Mr. B and the presidency can actually give us an answer. You understand? That's what. I mean, that's also something that I need our community to know. They have forgotten about them. I go to jail to visit once in a while when I'm in Yaoundé. After the euphoria, it's no longer there. People were tying support to them with the momentum that the struggle was having.
Mm-hmm.
Now that the struggle's momentum is dead, it doesn't mean the support of the prisoners should. I think we need to relaunch a fund to support those who are detained in Konenge, because these are the actually victims or the fallout of the conflict.
Prezi, thank you very much for today. Like I said earlier, any day, any time Toridey is home. If we none be the ISM for Toridey, none be our accountability partner. If we start doing the wrong way, if you feel like say they don't call me, give me something, I better not hesitate for them. I say Toridey waiting happen, you don't sell our platform.
Yeah. No.
But again, thank you very, very much for everything you do for we and for we community. Any day, anytime, if need be, let me know. Maybe we'll help our small we help.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad for Toridey. I hope say I try for answer the questions to the best of my ability. For the viewers, I thank you now for following. Question the way I know fi answer or way no answer time. I mean, send them to me. or send them. But Toridey, I feel still respond to them. Some of you who follow me on Facebook, I try to post things, but if you ask a positive question, people get into my inbox and ask me questions,
Mm-hmm.
school, career, politics. I try as much as possible
Mm-hmm.
to answer them. Some of them want to do internship, I don't want to be a member. I try as much. I cannot, I don't have a PA.
Mm-hmm.
I answer. So if you receive a message from me, know that I'm the one who actually responded. And at times I cannot meet up
Mm-hmm.
with everybody's question, but I try to show respect, because you are relevant, you are a leader because you have people. If the
Mm-hmm.
people are not there, you are no leader.
Thank you very, very much. Like he said, if any questions, any concerns, we talk something we had to do, like think I'm again very well, think I'm very, very well. But then if you really still conclude, like twist that one through, but if we said anything here that made you feel like wow, that the one that gave a carry and run, I personally feel like you need to share this interview with so many people as possible. Let them watch again and again. This is how we learn. This is how we educate our community. This is how we sit so we can have conversations so if we transform our community. Now, the small tool that we get time for today. Thank you now very, very, very much. Oh, I don't drop my mouse. I don't even remember. Thank you now very, very, very much.
Okay, I have to go.
Ah.